Hi Aries, how are we today? Just doing our weekly reading, and this week we are just doing a bit of a general reading, but I will also be grabbing a few cards for platonic connections, so connections with friends and family. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I do really appreciate your support. It really does mean a lot to me on such a small channel here. But this week we are using the seventh seal lenormand. I also have the inner child oracle there, that beautiful deck of bunnies that we love. I'm also using the earthbound oracle as well. So this particular oracle I will be using for the platonic connections stuff, but it is kind of a cross between lenormand and an oracle, so it does work really well on its own, even though it is part of a trio set of decks there. But getting into it for you today, Aries, I am very sorry if there is any background noise. I honestly thought that they had stopped with the mowing and blowers and whatnot, but I can just sort of hear that they have started again. Can't be helped when you are in your own home and there's a lot of stuff going on in the neighborhood and whatnot. Okay, Aries. What's going on for our Aries at the moment? Any important messages for Aries? Okay, that one wanted to come straight on out, and I can see a why straight away, Aries. Okay, Aries, so the one that's flipped on out there, we have the lucky bunny. So, with a lot of the time when we do have good luck coming towards us, it wants to make itself known, which this card really has today. It does say, I create my own reality. Okay, so having a really good sense of luck and taking the chances towards the things that you do want to be a part of your reality. The luck cards a lot of the time do talk about, taking a chance because you've got good luck. It is very reminiscent of that clover in the lenormand, which does talk about taking risks. Can talk about gambling, especially here too. This one, we have just recently had the Melbourne Cup here in Australia, which is the horse race that is really, really big here in Australia. They actually call it the race that stops a nation. And, the rest of the year, no one cares about horse racing or anything like that. Well, unless you're involved in that stuff. But, this one particular race, the Melbourne Cup, everyone across Australia, gets involved in that. It is a big event here in Australia. So, it can talk about gambling, but more so than gambling, it does talk about investing in the future, especially with I create my reality. So it can talk about, investments and stocks and those sorts of things, but it's all about, creating that future for yourself, taking a chance on, investing in yourself more than anything. All right, a lot of good luck around you at the moment, Aries. We do also see the tenderness card. So you can see the little bunny hugging his pillow with his nice little cup of tea. It does say, I am gentle with myself. So, making some space for yourself in your own life, within your own self, to look after yourself and, don't be too hard on yourself, especially when it does come to the reality that you're wanting to create for yourself. Don't be too judgmental or on yourself. Don't place your expectations, super, super high where you're not going to meet those. Be gentle with yourself and allow yourself to ease into these things that you're taking chances on a little bit there. Being very tender and gentle with yourself as well, Aries. All right, but we'll have a look with the lenormand. Aries, what does Aries need to know? What's going on for our Aries? Whoa, throwing cards at me today, Aries. And these decks don't normally throw cards out. Okay, and one more. All right, and can we clarify what that first card is about for our Aries, please? Clarify that first card that wanted to jump on out at us. Another one jumping out. Okay. Just looking here. Um, all right, so I'm seeing why you need to know about this. Outcomes of this for our Aries, please. What are the outcomes of this? Other than that, what are the outcomes for our Aries? Okay, so I do see I'm pretty much seeing a call to action here, Aries. We do see that lucky bunny, that taking a chance on having your true desires met. And I am kind of seeing that backed up here with the lenormand. That one that jumped on out was the crossroad. Now that has clarified with the ship energy, but a little bit more information about that crossroad card. We have the tower there. All right. So what we're seeing with that crossroad is clearly some sort of choice or decision to, with the ship there, to start this journey, to cover some distance, to take that chance to, start taking those steps forward, taking that movement. And it really is coming through as a choice or decision that you need to make, or you're wanting to make, to start this journey within yourself. All right. Now, this journey, for a lot of you, it's got to do with the past, with that tower coming through, some sort of choice or decision. I'm feeling for some of you, there may be some sort of a sense of obligation linked with this as well. With the tower, it definitely can be involving somebody older than you or somebody from your past. But it really does talk about choosing to rebuild. I want to say rebuild foundations. But you can just be building new foundations. It can be talking about. I feel for a lot of the time the tower can talk about solitude, but I feel as though this is you actually choosing to leave the solitude of your tower, to put down your defenses and step out of that tower and move forward with that ship energy there. Move forward away from that hermit mode, that Rapunzel up in her tower trapped. I feel as though for a lot of you that may be where the obligation sense is coming in, that you have sort of felt trapped by something in the past here, and you are now choosing to come down out of that tower, let down your defenses a little bit, rebuild the foundation within yourself. For a lot of you, that foundation is that foundation just within yourself, that tenderness towards yourself. We are also seeing some other cards here leading me to believe that for some of you, this is just within yourself, choosing to let down your defenses a little bit there and start a new journey for yourself. Get things moving, start traveling towards someone, something. Start traveling towards those desires, start those things that you're wishing for, those dreams that you have, the things that you want in your life, that reality that you want to create. Starting that journey, taking a chance to step out of the tower and start that journey, even if you're a little bit scared to do so. I feel that, for some of you, when there's obligation linked up, sometimes we get fear linked up with that sort of stuff of starting those journeys. It's kind of you choosing to go ahead and do that anyway, to take that chance. It may feel like it's a big risk for you, but it really is sort of showing us that you are sort of choosing to follow that path of what you want your reality to be, and what you want your desires to sort of come in for you there. We are seeing here the tree as well, the tree there, as well as the masculine energy. So it really does show us that this is actually leading you toward a lot of maturity within yourself, Aries. With the tree there, that's all about self-growth, self-care, that tenderness towards yourself, of course. But it's also really talking about your own sense of wisdom and maturity, especially with that masculine there, because the masculine does tend to be up in their head a little bit more rather than the emotions. They tend to come from a place of logic and controlling their emotions a little bit more so. And you are really maturing in that way, that you're growing a lot more wise about the way that you are thinking about things, the way that you are, controlling of your emotions and those sorts of things, the way that you are sort of seeing things logically. You're really maturing and getting a lot of wisdom just within yourself. And part of this, I feel like this journey is just strengthening that even more. You making the choice to manifest the things that you do desire, and start that journey for yourself. It really does help strengthen that sense of wisdom and maturity within you, Aries. So regardless of whether you're a masculine or not, the masculine is, I don't like to genderize them there. It does just talk about, the more logical side of ourselves, the more, reserved, controlling of our emotional sort of side there. So, it's that, it can be, the chaos within, controlling the chaos within, I like to say sometimes with that masculine. But the reason that this is all happening, and the reason that you need to sort of know about all this, and the reason we're seeing all this happening for you, Aries, is because you're kind of choosing here to go down a path where you're starting to really give to something. We have the bouquet there. I know that the lighting is not the best. There we go. The lighting is not usually the best with these cards, but that is the bouquet, followed by the birds there. All right, so the bouquet, the flowers there, it really does talk about you, giving to something. Once again, I'm getting drawn back to that lucky bunny, where you're really taking a chance, taking a risk to, create your own reality how you want it, to follow your true desires and follow your true path here, Aries. So you're really giving to yourself, giving to that wisdom of yourself, that inner knowing that this is the path I want to take. This is the path that leads me to, the reality that I want within my life. And what we're seeing with the flowers is it is a very reciprocal energy. So everything that we put out, whether it be time, love, money, it comes back towards us as well. We do receive that once again. So whether you're, just giving that energy out and then receiving from the universe, or giving that energy out and then receiving from a person in return, it's going to depend on your personal situation, of course. But whatever you're starting to give to, you really will receive in return. It's a very reciprocal energy, okay? So as much time, effort, energy that you're willing to put into something, love, that you're willing to put into something. For some of you, this may even be, money that you're putting into something, giving, money somewhere here and there. You will receive everything back from that, or if not more, reciprocal energy. Sometimes we do, if we're putting in time, for example, a lot of, with the example of, when it comes to money, the more time that you put in at work, the more money that you get for the hours that you've done. So energy works a little bit like that too, where, the more that you give, and the more that you're willing to give, the more you actually do receive in return. Sometimes it just comes through in different ways, which is really fun. But we are seeing clearly here, with the bird's energy, that there is some sort of conversation that needs to take place in regard to you giving. Okay, so I feel like for a lot of you, when you start this journey to really choose to take a chance on something that you are desirous of here, Aries, there is an important conversation somehow connected to this, and you will be giving energy to a conversation. You will be giving time, potentially, love and whatnot as well to a conversation with that bird's energy. It's kind of like that energy of, even if that's just within yourself, it's taking the time to sit down and work through things and really chat it all out, so to speak. Talk about it really, really clearly. Talk about everything. I'm feeling that conversation is actually, quite interesting, quite paramount to this, to what's going on for you here, because it's kind of like you're giving your wisdom through advice and receiving wisdom and advice in return. But the way that you're looking at things, you've really grown and matured, and you still are growing and maturing. So it kind of does really sort of, give me that inkling that your own wisdom is actually something that you're actually able to really share and give out to the universe at the moment, and then, you know, receiving through those conversations, you know, things that are going to help you on this journey as well. So even if that's just that tenderness towards yourself, where you're realizing, do you know what, I actually am giving really good advice today. I'm, you know, and being gentle with yourself, like, wow, Aries, you're doing okay today. You're actually giving really good advice, and you know, someone is actually listening and receiving that information really well. So you know, that giving and receiving, that reciprocal energy. But you know, it is a conversation where there does need to be give and take. All right. So with the flowers there, whatever this important conversation is in connection to all this choice that you're making here, there does need to be give and take in this conversation. You need to be sharing as much as you are receiving information. Okay. So if this is with a person in particular that you're aware of, that you're taking a, you know, choosing to walk towards with that ship and whatnot there, you do need to listen as much as you are, you know, speaking to this person. All right. I feel as though there does need to be some give and take with that conversation. All right. Okay. So we'll have a look at platonic connections. Platonic connections for our Aries. What does Aries need to know at the moment in regard to platonic connections? Interesting. Why? Can I just get clarity on how to explain that to Aries, please? Especially that central card, please. Why are we seeing that for platonic relationships with Aries? Okay, and the results of that third card, please. I'm actually getting a similar message to what I was getting. Like, this is actually, the energy is feeling quite similar here too. You know, parts of your reading, Aries, have been feeling quite similar to what I was experiencing with the energy with Cancer's reading. So if you do have important Cancer placements, maybe check those as well. Maybe check that reading as well. But we do have the life card first and foremost. So kind of sprouting new life when it comes to platonic connections for yourself here, Aries. As you can see, it's a bit, to me, it doesn't really look like it, but it is a seed, you know, spurting out this little seedling here. So it's kind of like that fresh growth, fresh ideas, brand new ideas, new things germinating within platonic connections at the moment. There may be some brand new life within platonic connections at the moment. So there may be somebody within your friends or family group who is pregnant or about to have a baby. You know, some sort of new life being sort of injected into your platonic connections. So this may be a brand new friend, or you know, a family member getting a partner, that you know, a new element coming in to the platonic connections there. There is a brand new sort of element coming in here. You know, with the life card, it really does show us that, you know, this has the potential to help you grow even further. This connection may grow itself, you know, individually as well. But very interestingly enough here, I am seeing the fear card, all right? And now that was clarified with the scythe energy. So you can kind of see very similar energies here. I absolutely hate this card because it does have, you know, I am fearful of this card because it's got the bunny being shot by the arrows. And you know, as we saw with the oracles, I love bunny stuff. So I really don't like this card. But, you know, fear. It does talk about fear. You know, fear being, you know, when I see this card, sometimes it talks about fear being the ultimate evil that you need to deal with in this life. Okay, so when we think about good versus evil, a lot of the time, evil stems from fear, things that we're fearful of. That's where hatred and things like that come from, prejudice and all that sort of stuff. But what we're seeing with the scythe is that there is a sudden change happening here. So there may be something within your platonic connections where you're fearful. I feel like this is, like that vibe of you have been, worried about what people might say, or you're worried about somebody's opinion. Somebody, especially too with what I'm seeing next here when I've clarified the next card. I'm seeing that there's a potential for somebody who's been giving you, bad advice around you. And I feel as though you have been sort of a little bit fearful of going against this person's advice. But it's not necessarily bad advice. It's just advice coming from them. It's not it's kind of fighting against your truth, is what I'm sort of feeling there, Aries. That's what I was sort of saying. I was getting something very similar with Cancer yesterday when I was doing their readings as well. The bad advice from a friend type energy. All right, so but there is also actually elements within your general reading that are reminding me strongly of that Cancer reading as well. So like I said, if you do have strong Cancer placements, maybe check that one out. But we're seeing a sudden break, a sudden change from that fear. So it's kind of like admitting I do have this fear. I have been, I have been worried about that. But do you know what? I don't care. I'm going to do my thing anyway. So you yourself, I feel, are this scythe energy, cutting through the BS and doing the thing that suits you anyway, back to that lucky bunny, creating your own realities. And we do see a transformation happening for you within platonic connections. That is the transformation card. So we do really see, once again, a lot of growth and evolvement, that maturing the way that you're dealing with relationships around you. I do feel as though this is just in general, once again, Aries, that it's talking about you growing and maturing, transforming the way that you're dealing with all the relationships within your life, the platonic and otherwise. As we saw in the general, you're currently experiencing that wisdom, that growth within yourself, and you're transforming throughout the way you're dealing with platonic connections as well. So, family, friends, that sort of thing. And like we just saw there with that fear and the scythe, and you sort of cutting through the BS and making unexpected decisions, I feel, for yourself. So for some of you, that this decision, whatever this choice or decision that you're making to start some sort of journey, it may be actually very unexpected to those around you. They may not. You kind of feels like you're maybe possibly going against the grain, so to speak, or going against people's advice, because we do have here the clouds, as well as the snake. So it's kind of like, the snake is where I'm seeing the possible bad advice, okay, because it can talk about deception with that snake energy there. But you're sort of transforming through that, and the clouds there, it's kind of like you are transforming the way you're looking at things and thinking about things, and kind of cutting through the BS and kind of realizing that, do you know what, that's their perception. That doesn't necessarily suit me and my personal truth. I've thought about it. I've really, with the clouds there, I've thought about it. I've really, maybe even overthought about it. But it feels like their advice is actually, leading you to be more confused about what you truly want, because you're taking it on board, you're really thinking it through, and then kind of realizing, it's not really sitting 100% right for me. And so I feel like the best advice here is, because the snake and the caterpillar, both small little squiggly creatures, right? So you're transforming past that snake energy and turning into the positive, finding the silver lining in those thoughts, and turning into the positive energies of that snake, and transforming yourself from that caterpillar to that moth, where you're flying free and doing your own thing anyway. And we do see that with that snake energy, that you are, following your true desires, and, following what you're passionate about. This person giving you this advice, that's not what they're passionate about. They're passionate about other things. So, that's why I'm sort of feeling you may be going against the grain here a little bit, Aries, because, and a bit fearful that what will this person say, because I'm, contradicting, like going straight against their advice and doing the thing anyway, or whatever it is. But, you're following your true heart, you're following your passion here, Aries, and creating your own reality. So be more tender with yourself, be gentle with yourself, and understand that, at the end of the day, your passion is yours and yours alone. Okay. But people, it's one thing to take on other people's advice and really think about that and, look it through logically. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't suit your truth and your true desires, well, then, that's their problems and their, what's that saying? Not my monkeys, not my circus, or whatever. Not my circus, not my monkeys. So it kind of just feels like that, where it's, it's not that they're giving bad advice, and it's not that, it's just they've got different experiences. They have different truth. They have different passion. So I'm not getting that it's anything bad, but there may just be a little bit of bad advice. Like, not bad, like I said, not bad advice, but they're just coming from a different viewpoint. You're looking through it very clearly and taking that on board. But I feel like you still need to do what you need to do for yourself at the end of the day, Aries. But that's what we have for you today, Aries. I hope that resonated for you. You're more than welcome to check other placements, of course. But hopefully I'll see you all again soon.